Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnam Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Bharade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada Yenakshara samamnayam Adhigamya maheshwarat Kritsnam vyakaranam proktam Tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagarthaviva Sampraktau Vagarthah Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Om. Welcome. So I will switch screens here. So on your screen, you will see Idam-śabdha. There we go. Should make it a little bit bigger. So this is Idam-śabdha. This is what we were talking about in our last class. So we were seeing Idam. This is on page 118 in Punlinga, 118. We're seeing Idam meaning this in masculine. Right? And as we saw, there's two versions of this, etad and idam. When something is very, very close, it's etad. When it's a little bit farther away, but still close, it's idam. And then we'll see adas later on, and then tad. So these are going in order of distance away from the speaker. So idam meaning this, but just a little bit more distant than etad-śabdha. Coming back to our shabda here. So we can chant this together, or if you want to listen, you can just listen as well, whatever works best. We'll go slowly. So this is Sarvanama Pratipadikam. So a Pratipadika, which is a Sarvanama, a pronoun, Idam-śabdha, right? So this is Idam-śabdha in Pullinga. So, Ayam, Imo, Ime, Imam, Imo, Iman. Let's do those first two cases again. Ayam, Imo, Ime, Imam, Imo, Iman. Anena, Abhyam, Ebihi. Asmai, Abhyam, Ebhyah. Asmat, Abhyam, Ebhyah. Asya, Anayoho, Esham. Asmin, Anayoho, Eshu. So in the 6272, you see that nakara gets it added there. So just something to note. So hopefully this is becoming a little bit more familiar. We're going to do some practice with this. So we make sure we're getting it down. We also saw that. So there's a question in the chat. So it says etad and idam both mean this, but distance is the factor. That's correct. That's correct. Etad being a little bit closer to the speaker and idam being a little bit farther, but still close enough to say this. Okay. We also saw that the Sarvanama Pratipadikam, this Idam-śabdha in neuter, just the first two cases differ and the rest is the same. Okay. This is reminiscent of Jnanam-śabdha. Jnanam, jnane, jnanhani. Right? Or palam, pale, palani. Okay. So we see idam, ime, imani. Idam, ime, imani. Then anena, abhyam, ebihi. Asmai, abhyam, ebhyah. Asmat, abhyam, ebhyah. Asya, anayoho, esham. Asmin, anayoho, eshu. Okay, there's no sambodhana. Okay, so what we want to look at in this class is idam in strilinga. Okay, so this is strilinga sarvanama pratipadikam idam-śabdha. So feminine idam. So you see that first note at the top. In feminine, idam declines as if it was just ah, except for what is in black. So all the ones in black are a little bit different. The ones in gray are as if you're declining ah in sarvanama. Okay. So this is also similar to sarva shabda. So if you see sarva, sarve, sarvaha, sarvam, sarve, sarvaha, sarvaya, sarvabhyam, sarvabhihi. You see this here. This is where it becomes similar. Sarvasya, sarvabhyam, sarvabhyaha, sarvasyaha, etc. So if you just look back at this, you see, right? Like just like we had 4-1, sarvasya, here we have asya. Just like we had sarvasyaha, we have asyaha. Okay, so there's a lot of similarities. These are all similar to sarva shabda. Let me know in the chat if you want me to go over sarva shabda quickly. So let's chant this one together. It's helpful to remember Ganga Shabda as well. Gange, Ganga, Gange, Gangaha. Gangam, Gange, Gangaha. Yeah, remember that? Okay. Iyam, Ime, Imaha. Imam, Ime, Imaha. Anaya, Abhyam, Abhi. Asyai, Abhyam, Abhyah. Asyaha, Abhyam, Abhyah. Asyaha, Anayoho, Asam. Like Sarvasam. Asyam, Anayoho, Asu. Okay, again, no sambodhana. Okay, let me know with the thumbs How are we feeling with this one? Should we do a little bit more practice? Okay, we're feeling okay? No, not feeling okay. Some people are feeling okay, feeling a little bit mixed. We're a little bit weaker with our feminine shabdas. So it's okay, we can spend a little bit of time. First, let's go back to sarva, and then we'll do that one more time. So we'll chant sarva, okay? So if you know this one, you can just, this will be good repetition. Okay? So sarva, sarve, sarvaha, sarvam, sarve, sarvaha, sarvaya, sarvabhyam, sarvabhihi, sarvasyai, sarvabhyam, sarvabhyaha. Okay, this is feminine. So sarvabhyaha. Sarvasyaha, sarvabhyam, sarvabhyaha. Sarvasyaha, sarvayoho, sarvasam. Okay, so here you have that little bit different. Instead of nam, you get sam. Sarvasyam, Gangayam, Sarvasyam, Sarvayoho, Sarvasu. He sarve, he sarve, he sarvaha. Okay, so getting rid of some cobwebs. So let's look at this one more time and then we'll do some practice with this. Okay, so sarvam, sarve, sarvaha. Okay, so iyam, ime, imaha, imam, ime, imaha. Just like sarvaya, anaya, sarvabhyam, abhyam, sarvabhihi, abhihi. Asyai, abhyam, abhyaha. That's just like sarvasyai, sarvabhyam, sarvabhyaha. Okay. Asyaha, abhyam, abhyaha. Just like sarvasyaha, sarvabhyam, sarvabhyaha. Asyaha, anayoho, asam. Okay, the difference that 6-2 has a nakara, then so it's different in that way from sarva. Asyam, anayoho, asu. Okay. So let's see an example here. So one quick note here. I'll take a question. Yeah. Harprasadji, go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
So anayoho remains the same both for pullinga and strilinga.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So you anayoho in punlinga and neuter and feminine.
In all the lingas, yeah.
Any other questions?
And then dhanyawada.
Let me know in the chat if you have any questions. So one note I wanted to make is in our last class, number 7, I believe I said Vishaya was neuter gender. I'm not sure what I said about that. I just want to clarify that Vishaya is Punlinga, is masculine. Okay, so I'm not sure quite what I said, but I wanted to just make sure that I'm clear that Vishaya, number 7, is Punlinga. Actually, we may not have done that one at all. I'm not sure. So it would be Asmin Vishaye Vicharaha Bhavati. Okay, so this is exercise 33. This is in the back of your book around 184, perhaps 183, somewhere around there. 182. Okay, 182. So this is in the back of your book. We're looking at this is an exercise for Idam and Adas. We're just looking at Idam right now. Now we've talked about most of these in our last class. So let's just jump to 13 and 14. And if anyone has any questions, we can jump backwards. Okay. I'll take questions after these two. Okay. So Akyaika bhavati. Okay. Can you tell me in the chat, what is the 1-1 of Idam in Strilinga? Because Akyaika is Strilinga. So if it's qualifying that word, then it's going to also be, Idam will be in Strilinga. That's how you know the gender. Yeah, so looking good. So if you look at it, we're looking at 1-1. This is Idam in masculine. Yeah, let's go here. Iyam, ime, imaha. Imam, ime, imaha. Right? So 1-1, 1-1, akyaika, iyam, akyaika bhavati. Okay, akyaika means story. Story. Okay, so if I'm saying this story, bhavati, exists, or I can say this is a story, depending on how I want to, whether it's adjective, substantive, or noun and predicate. Okay, this is a story, or this story is. Now, devata is also feminine. Iyam, ime, imaha. Yeah, imaha devataha bhavanti. These devatas are Agni devata, Chandra devata, etc. Okay, they are. Okay, let's just decline some more. Let's say let's say 3-1. What is the 3-1? You can tell me in the chat. Was 3-1 in feminine? Iyam, ime, imaha. Imam, ime, imaha. Anaya, abhyam, abhi. Asyai, abhyam, abhyah. Okay, so anaya is 3-1. 5-1 is yeah. Okay, so if you don't feel like writing, you can just say it out loud with your lips. So asyaha, yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so this is how we can get some practice. Yep, so one question, go ahead.
Well, this is just a general question. We've been studying all these Idam-śabdha and masculine, feminine, neuter. I try to memorize, but it's very, very difficult. And then I do it, I remember, and tomorrow I'll forget. So one of the things, I don't know if you think it's right or wrong, is to see if we could practice verbally, talk more to like forming a sentence. This is a ball, or I want to throw this ball. I mean, some simple sentences, So then you know this neutral gender ball is neutral rather than this boy is a masculine, but this ball is a neuter and this girl is a feminine. I mean, it's just out of curiosity because there is no way, I know I won't be able to remember that. I try to remember, but I can't remember. I won't be able to remember. So, or you have any other suggestions? I don't know. But the thing is, if you study this, how do you apply it?
Yeah,
Just a thought.
absolutely. So that's definitely a common sentiment that this is a lot to remember. We're doing so many shabdas and we're going to still do so many. And so how to remember? So really you don't need to memorize them completely. So I think I would suggest giving it an honest shot at some point in time, right? So if you've done it in the past, I think that samskara, if it's there, that impression, if it's in your mind, I think that's good, even if you can't recall it right away. And the reason is what really we need to do is be able to see a word in a text, for example, and to be able to guess what the case might be. And so you'll see some of these have patterns. So you might not even exactly know whether it's masculine or neuter, but you know when you see that an ena, it's going to be 3-1, things like that. So what I would say is yeah, definitely if you are doing spoken Sanskrit, I think that could be very helpful. Just looking at these sentences, right? Or looking at even the earlier sentences that we've done and just trying to look at them and trying to say them out loud, trying to quickly translate them. Unfortunately, we don't have the answer guide to these, so it's not like we can check very easily. But some of the earlier exercises do have the exercise guide as well. So I don't know if that's helpful. Okay. So I do want to switch gears here. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. So let's just do all the odd numbers here. So number 1, okay, think of it. You don't have to type it. If you want to, you can. Purushaha asti. Ayam Purushaha asti. Number 3. What is it? Yeah. Ime Purushaha santi. Ime Purushaha santi. Number 5. Blank Purushena Vastu Nyayate. Anena Purushena Vastu Nyayate. Anena Purushena Vastu Nyayate. Okay. Number 7. Asmin Vishaye Vicharaha Bhavati. With regard to this object, there is inquiry. Okay, number 9. Now we're in Netre. Netra is Napumsakalinga. So the Spurataha means shines. So the Netre Spurataha. Ime Netre Spurataha. Ime Netre Spurataha. 11. Blank Jnanena Vastu Jnayate. Same as Punlinga. Anena Jnanena Vastu Jnayate. 13. Akhyayika Bhavati. Iyam Akhyayika Bhavati. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our Sandhi book. what I want you to look for is in the index, look for something called Anusvara-sandhi. So this is closer to the end of the book. I know page numbers differ, that's why I'm not giving you a page number. So if you look in the index, finding out Anusvara-sandhi. Really, this becomes, when we originally studied this along with 2-1 Rama-shabdha, Ramam. Okay, and you'll see why we studied it with that 2-1 Rama-shabdha. So people are saying it's page 68. It might be a little slightly off from there, but you can find it around there. Now, this sandhi, Anusvara-sandhi, is quite common and it's pretty easy. Okay. First thing we need to see is if you have a makara, ma, without no vowel afterwards, just a ma without the vowel. So makara. When I say makara, I mean just the letter without the vowel afterwards. So that makara, when at the end of a pada, right? So when at the end of a word and followed by hal. Hal means a consonant, right? So you want to remember that this is a consonant, any consonant, not a vowel. Okay. So when that ma at the end of a pada is followed by hal, then that makara is replaced by anusvara. Okay, that's that little dot. Okay, so sometimes in the text or in the exercises, you'll see that makara becoming a anusvara. So for example, here, I have Shashivarnam Chatur Bhujam. Does this sound familiar? Hopefully it sounds familiar from our prayers. Okay, so you see Shashivarnam Chatur Bhujam. Now, when you say this written out, this makara becomes an anusvara. Now, it's very hard to see, but within this hook, there is a little dot there. There, maybe you can see a little bit more clearly now. There is the anusvara within the hook there. So that's really because, and this happens because it's followed by chakara. Cha is a consonant, right? So let's say this was Shashivarnam and then ayam. Ayam. No, we wouldn't see that. We wouldn't see the anusvara because it's followed by a akara, which is a vowel. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Now, anusvara doesn't really change the sound. It can sometimes in chanting class, but you can ask your chanting teacher about when that applies and when not. Okay. Sometimes they say that you make the nasalized sound. So each of these categories, each of the lines of the alphabet have a different nasal sound, right? So there's a guttural nasal, et cetera, et cetera. So they say that depending, so if this is chakara, so you're going to look in the row of chakara and find the sound, that nasal sound. And then that's the sound you should make. But that's not always the case. Sometimes in chanting, that's what they suggest. but sometimes they also just use the same ma sound. Okay. So that's why I said, ask your chanting teacher. So you see a lot of these. You see this ma, halanta. All these are halanta. They end with that consonant makara. So papam harati. And then you write it just with an anuswara. Papam harati. Okay. Kim shariram. You write it same way. Except you put the anuswara. Kim shariram. Okay. So here it can even be within multiple words. Tam ramam namami. So this will get replaced because it's followed by a consonant. This will get replaced because it's followed by a consonant. Okay. How about number 5? Ayamatma. No, it does not apply because this makara is followed by a, which is a vowel. Okay. Aham, prajnanam brahma. Yeah, we apply it. Idam sarvam asit. Idam sarvam asit. Is it applied here? Yes. Is it applied here? No. Because it's followed by a vowel there. Okay. So we're getting a little bit tricky here. Okay. Prajnanam Brahma. Yes. Aham karomi. Aham karomi. Yeah. Okay, so now we're resolving these. Essentially, right? You just want to see because it's followed by that consonant. This is what it originally looked like. So sometimes when I'm doing pada cheda, okay, when I'm saying the Upanishad and I'm breaking all the sandhis, sometimes there's Anusvara-sandhi, but I don't mention that. Okay, just so you know, I'll say maybe this line has no sandhi. There might be Anusvara-sandhi, so I should be more accurate that even though there's not much of a sound change, that Anusvara-sandhi does get applied pretty often, so you'll see that. There's a question for the word Panchami. Is it okay to write the Anuswara on the letter Pa or write differently? So this is how I've seen it, where you actually just combine the two letters. Sorry, that's not very clear, but chakara at the bottom, and then you write the nakara. You write them together, or okay, so no anusvara really needed there. Okay, so that's the lesson for today. So we covered Idam-śabdha, masculine, neuter, and feminine. A little more focus on feminine today. And Anusvara-sandhi, where if it's followed by a consonant, then you get the Anusvara. So there's really no homework. What I would suggest is to go back to the exercise 33, and if just go over them. You can either write them out or just go over them in your head. And we even though we've done that, right? Use idam in all of these sentences. Okay. Finish with the prayer. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So we'll come back in 5 minutes at 8:10.